Well, the circle the wagons philosophy actually came out of when I was thinking about Buffett's letter last year to shareholders, the 2023 letter. He pointed out that in 58 years of running Berkshire, there were only 12 decisions that he had made that had moved the needle for Berkshire. Now, Berkshire had a tremendous run. They've compounded, recently we're compounding at 20+% a year for 58 years. That's, if you're 20% a year, you are doubling every 3.5 years. Okay. And that means after 35 years, it's a 10 doubles, and 58 is another 23 years. So you've got another, six doubles. So 16 doubles. 2 to the power 16. Now, the way to do 2 to the power 16 is 2 to the power 10 times 2 to the power 6. 2 to the power 10, round number is 1,000. It's 1,000x, right? And 2 to the power 6 is 64. It's 64,000 times what you started with, okay? If you started with $100, it's 6.4 million, okay? $100 is 6.4 million. Okay, so he's saying, I would calculate in the last 58 years, Buffett's made 300 or 400, at least 400 different investment decisions. He's saying 12 are the ones that mattered, right? The god of investing has a 4% hit rate. That's the god of investing. That's why we should index.
Right. Well, what are the rest of us mere mortals supposed to do?
So now the thing is that I was thinking about his 12 bets, right? And I thought about, okay, which were the 12? And I think he never mentioned that, but you could guess which one. Seas would be one of them. Coke would be another one. Amex, Gillette, Cap Cities, Washington Post. You can come up with the names, Berkshire Hathaway Energy, Ajit Jain, hiring Ajit Jain. Probably was the biggest bet for them. It paid off huge for them.
Yeah, what's the story with Ajit? There's something about the recruiter for him.
So what I realized when I thought about these 12 bets was, it wasn't the buy decision. The buy decision is important. The important thing was they never sold. Seas stayed in the stable for 50 years. Coke has been in the stable for 40 plus years, right? So it wasn't the buy decision. It was the paint drying decision. Okay, that was the important thing. So when you find yourself in the happy position of a small ownership in a great business, just find something else to do with your time. Play bridge or whatever.
Right. Have you considered golf?
I have. Yeah. Golf is great. And so if you ask Charlie, he would say the single best investment Berkshire Hathaway ever made was the search fee they paid to hire Ajit Jain. Okay. Now, Ajit Jain walks into their offices in 1985 actually, never having worked in the insurance business, right? From scratch, without them putting up venture capital or anything, the business he's created for them today probably has a value north of 100 billion. Okay. I mean, it just gets lost in Berkshire because Berkshire is so big. I'll give you an example of a discussion I had with Charlie. I think that's maybe 2-3 months before he passed away. So he was telling me that, Berkshire Hathaway writes super catastrophe insurance, like, insurance against hurricanes, earthquakes, and so on, right? And many, many years when people are looking for earthquake insurance in Florida, for hurricane insurance in Florida, Ajit will look at the rates being offered and just take a pass. Okay. Basically, he would find it's too competitive, whatever else, people are not giving enough. Okay. What he did in 2023, and they mentioned it at the meeting actually, is that he wrote hurricane insurance on Berkshire's behalf, reinsurance, with maximum payout of $15 billion. So if these hurricanes had hit, now basically the math is like this. I just want to explain how Ajit's mind works. Berkshire would pay out on a big catastrophe, like in hurricanes, 3 to 5% of the total insured loss incurred. So for them to have a 15 billion payout, you would have to have had an event with insured losses in Florida of 300 billion. It's beyond Andrew and beyond Katrina.
Right.
It's beyond all of those, right? So need to be a really big event for them to have a 15 billion payout. The premium he collected to write that 15 billion policy, take a guess. Take a guess.
5 billion.
He collected 5 billion.
Oh.
Okay. And
I was sweating that guess.
No, but he collected, that's exactly what he collected. How much did he pay out in 23?
0.
There was one that came through. My guess would be they might have paid out 300-400 million.
Okay.
Some 300 million.
Collect 5 billion.
And what Charlie said to me is, Ajit's done this about 6 times. Okay, where he's picked the years that he's written these policies, because what was happening in most years is the premium offered was 2 billion. He just took a pass. Right. All the other insurers wrote that policy. Berkshire took a pass.
Right. No called strikes.
Right. And now, for example, we had some unusual losses. Like, for example, that ship in Baltimore. Right. Now that's going to end up being about 3 to 5 billion in losses. Right. And it's the biggest maritime loss in global history. It's going to change premiums for ships in the future. Berkshire will probably be writing when everyone else is saying, I don't want to do that. Right. It's like the cat who sat on a hot stove and doesn't want to sit on any hot or cold stoves ever again.